You have to be present all the time. If you put up a post once in 4 days, I don't think it really works. Once, definitely every day, and if possible 2 times on social media, it has to come. And we make sure it goes on 6 platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, Google Stories, Google Post, and a WhatsApp story.
Hi Varun, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here, and I'm really excited for this podcast.
Yay, me too. Kandy's Cafe is your family business and you are the second generation to join it.
Yes.
Can you tell me the story of how and when this cafe got started?
This cafe got started in April 1995, and it started with my uncle and my elder brother. These two guys came together. One was full of experience because he was always into the hotel management line. And my brother full of enthusiasm to do his own work and become an entrepreneur. So he was just out of his school, and 1995 is when it started.
Oh my
God. Started as a small shop, and then gradually 10 years later we opened another outlet in Chandigarh.
Oh.
And we renovated and we made a bigger workshop. So by God's grace, things became bigger and better with time.
I think you're a legacy because you are running it for so long.
Thank you. Thanks.
The cafe started in 1995, about 26 years ago.
Yes.
How was the bakery trend back then?
It was very simple. It was very, very simple, very homely. People preferred things. Live kitchen was a concept at that point of time where people wanted to see the cookies coming out of the oven, the tray is coming out of the oven, and they said, "Ke isko pack kar do," at that point of time. So they made sure that they were getting fresh stuff. Then a trend came when the workshops were hidden and it was the fancy and the swanky side of the outlet was supposed to be shown. But now once again, the live kitchen concept is again back in trend where people again want to see fresh stuff getting prepared. So this was it's actually a circle. What's happening today was there 25 years back where people wanted to see how the stuff is getting made. Sandwiches getting made and chefs in proper attire and making in front of them. So it was very homely, very simple.
So I was about to ask you about the trend because you fall in generation Y of the millennials and you can relate to the upcoming trends in and around bakery.
Yes.
What all changes have you personally brought in Kandy's pastry parlor, perhaps related to the products, menu or its overall ambience?
See, as far as we go about the products, we try to maintain a very high level of hygiene. We've made a special section which is called the maintenance room where we do check the leftovers from last night, and there is a proper account maintained of what product was manufactured at what time, and the shelf life is how long for that. And just we don't wait for the shelf life to get over. Just before that, we do a double check on that so that we don't sell or make somebody eat something which is not supposed to be eaten.
Right.
That's to do with the products. Secondly, what I have observed over the years is people prefer convenience. Convenience, like the rise of Swiggy and Zomato is because of convenience. People want things to be delivered at their doorstep. So we have tried our best to change with the time. Yeah. At one point of time, we made our own application also. But but we discontinued with that because Swiggy and Zomato were much more convenient. So we have no problems changing to something better. And ambience, you have to keep changing with the trend as far as a simple thing like a lighting also goes, which has nothing to do with the food, but just to create a good, friendly and a healthy and a nice atmosphere for people to sit. Right. You have to keep doing these changes to your ambience and the walls and the lights and the overall feel of the place.
Yeah.
So this is a never-ending process. Tomorrow is going to be something else. Things are going to become more convenient, and we have to keep going on with the trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kandy's Cafe is not a virtual cafe, but it has a physical location where people can come and enjoy the pastries and savory items that you offer.
It's a 900 square feet outlet.
Yeah.
And we have a dine-in of about 15 people.
Okay.
And everything is on display. The whole menus are on display. And there are about 10 to 11 staff members who help people to choose from their products. And there's personal attention given if somebody wants to get a customized hamper made or a cake made or something like that. So it's a proper outlet.
Okay. So talking about the customized hamper and Swiggy and Zomato, how do you manage the delivery and packaging part?
Packaging we do on our own, and we we try to make sure that the stuff reaches to the customer in a sealed pack, and there is a notification that if the seal is broken, they should not be receiving it. And Swiggy and Zomato, we did tie up with them about 6 to 7 years back. Okay. And experience has been good, and especially after the COVID time last year when we reopened in the month of May, Swiggy and Zomato was rising as far as the footfall was concerned. It was a little less in the initial months. Now things are getting back to normal, but yeah, Swiggy and Zomato have really played a very big role in promoting any food enterprise, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about COVID, last year due to pandemic, a lot of business saw tough times.
Yes.
How did your cafe survive the lockdown, and did it work in your favor?
I can't really say that if it worked in our favor or not, but yeah, one very pleasant thing happened after we reopened was because a lot of people told us that our outlet was the first outlet they visited after the unlock happened. And a few neighborhood people which I have been seeing for so many years who come for their regular breads and cookies. And that point of time, I realized that whichever outlet has been working for a number of years, whichever has developed a trust factor and a goodwill in the minds of people, it really gets them back. They don't see the clean or the assured stamp on Swiggy or Zomato, but they just know that, okay, this place, we are sure, would be taking all the safety protocols and would be following all the guidelines, and sanitization would be happening. So that was a really big relief when we reopened, that yes, people do trust us. And I'm sure everybody would be having their neighborhood outlet. But yeah, hearing that from a few people was really, really reassuring. And that really pepped up again to work harder. Because when we opened, things were really hard. It was a restriction till about 6 o'clock, and the main work happens post 6 o'clock, and the footfall was less. But yes, this trust thing which I heard from people, it was really, really encouraging to work hard again. And one thing which was really sad was that last year was our Silver Jubilee 25th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the first anniversary in 25 years which we did not have a working day on that day. 14th April 2020 was in the middle of the lockdown.
Yeah.
So that was something which was a little demotivating and sad, but nevertheless, it's fine.
Yeah. But you already have a trusted audience, and they were more than happy when the
when we opened our doors again.
Exactly.
Yes. We put it on our social media, and we got a lot of notifications and DMs that it's glad, and now they wanted to celebrate the birthdays which were missed in April. So that was really, really encouraging.
Talking about social media, you have done your studies in marketing and advertisement.
Yes.
So how do you handle the marketing and promotion parts for your business?
We do it on our own. It is not outsourced to any PR agency or companies who handle our Instagram and Facebook and something. No, because we keep making products the whole day. There is new products, food testing happening at all the time. So we can't afford to have somebody from outside all the time in the store. So we click on our own, we edit on our own, and we put up stories and pictures, and it really helps. Coming back again to the convenience part, I feel social media has really helped us to make things convenient for us, because people see the pictures on Facebook and Instagram, they take a screenshot, they send it to us, they send the advance through Paytm, and then we get the cake delivered. So basically the whole process happens when they don't have to physically get up from their house, come to an outlet, pay the advance, go through the files, and so everything happens over WhatsApp or phone. So they also encourage this, that everything is happening very conveniently for them. So yeah, it plays a big role.
Right. A lot of bakeries or cafes are available on Instagram or Facebook. What do you think sets you apart from them, and what is your USP?
USP, I would say, is our customized theme cakes, the designer cakes which we make. There are a few products in the savories and the dessert section as well. But what I have observed in the last 4-5 years is that customized cakes, the trend of cakes has really, really changed. People don't want just one character cake for their kids or for themselves. They basically want their whole life put into a cake. Like if a person has studied abroad, they would want a London School of Economics ka logo, then the UK ka flag, and then they did their MBA from this place. And if a person is a smoker, they would want an ashtray. So getting into the personal details of a person's life and putting onto the cake is really, we try to do that. And it has really worked well for us. So yeah, that is something which is the USP. What sets us apart is, I'm sure all the bakeries are doing their Instagram and Facebook handles really well, but there has to be a consistency. You have to be present all the time. If you put up a post once in 4 days, I don't think it really works. We started like that when Instagram was new, because we also did not have so much of material and time to click pictures. But now we make sure that once, definitely every day, and if possible 2 times on social media, it has to come. And we make sure it goes on 6 platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, Google Stories, Google Post, and a WhatsApp story. WhatsApp story helps the most, to my surprise, because all the people in the neighborhood, they watch the story and say, okay, this thing is available, so we immediately get a call.
Yeah.
And 4 or 5 platforms every day at a given point of time, your post has to go up.
Right.
Because people know what you're doing new and what you're introducing new, and what kind of new designs are you making. So yeah, consistency is very, very important as far as social media promotion goes.
Hey listeners, do you want to start your own successful bakery or cafe, but you're not sure how to really go about it? Then listen up. You have got so much to figure out, from recipes to your menu pricing to hiring, and it can get really overwhelming when you're trying to do everything by yourself. At Truffle Nation, they have helped thousands of aspiring bakers and cafe owners just like yourself to get started with their own successful bakeries or cafes in less than 6 months. Their Baker's Diploma takes you from a complete beginner to a highly skilled pastry chef. By focusing on a completely hands-on approach and 13 modules covering everything from the foundations of baking delicious cakes to amazing French entremet, you will learn everything you need to know to start your own successful bakery. But that's not it. Truffle Nation also helps you with business and marketing sessions, which will help you drive more customers to your bakery. So if you are ready to start your journey as a professional baker, then head over to Truffle Nation and enroll in their upcoming batch today. To make sure each student gets personalized attention, they have one dedicated chef mentor for every 4 students. And therefore, Truffle Nation can only accept a handful of students into their diploma program every month. So if you have ever wanted to start your own successful bakery or cafe, then save yourself the pain and frustration of doing it all alone and join Truffle Nation's Baker's Diploma course today. Just go to trufflenation.com and fill out their contact form.
So who is your main audience or targeted audience that you serve?
We usually serve kids cakes, because I feel the cartoons or the animated movies and everything, they keep coming in abundance. So it keeps changing. Like I remember Frozen, like I don't know how many Frozens have we done, and then suddenly there was this Peppa Pig and everything. So usually it's for the kids, but and the youngsters also, like 18 to 25 years, and then after that, nobody, I think, celebrates their birthdays in the 30s. I don't know why. And then post 40, again, there is these naughty 40 cakes and this cake and the retirement cakes and everything. Yeah. So I think below 30 and after 40, 30 to 40, I think is the people are struggling, so they forget to celebrate their birthdays, I guess.
So you handle the marketing part of the
marketing,
business.
Operations, yeah.
Yes. And
we actually have to dig into everything.
Right.
When you're running your own enterprise and it's not a franchise, you have to look into everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who is behind the kitchen? Who is making all these cakes?
We have chefs. We have a lot of chefs, and we have a team which overlooks the chefs, and we also get together with them, and we keep doing a lot of demos. And these companies whom we buy our raw materials from, they keep coming out with new recipes, and there is a day dedicated in the week for new demos.
Okay.
So we do a lot of demos. We do a lot of changes in the existing products, like a pineapple pastry is going on for years, but there are a lot of changes which you can do to it.
Right.
New ingredients come and everything. So we manage on our own. There is a team, and new chefs come in. They train our existing chefs. The company chefs come. Then we procure new raw material, and we do a lot of demos. So yeah.
Yeah.
New things keep coming out.
Okay. Could you name the outlet for our listeners where you buy your raw materials from?
See, there are these companies, Puretos, Elana, Pillsbury, and Rich. I think Rich is a company which is leading in cream.
Okay.
And they have a huge variety of creams. So yeah, these are a few trusted companies where you can, where the new upcoming bakers and home bakers can buy their raw materials from.
Okay. What all products do you offer in Kandy's Pastry Parlor?
We offer a wide range in savories, in veg and non-veg both. Then these small desserts, the regular pastries, the regular counter cakes. On order, we make these customized theme cakes, which I just spoke about. Then we have a huge variety of eggless cookies and with egg cookies. Then tea time dry cakes. Then a lot of off-the-shelf stuff like frozen food and packed food. And then Belgian chocolates. That's one thing which we are really proud of because we've really cracked a good taste in that. So we make those small sizes as well, gift boxes as well, and those bars, the Belgian chocolate bars. So this is authentic Belgian chocolate, which we import, and then we add our own flavors to it. And we try to make flavors which are not there in regular Cadbury's and Lindt and Ferrero Rocher, like a white chocolate with a blueberry pulp or a raspberry pulp or mixed berries and or a red velvet. We try to put the red velvet cake sponge in white chocolate. So we keep doing something. It's all tasting and it's good fun.
Wow, this sounds so exciting.
Yeah, so spending some time in the kitchen on Monday mornings is really good fun. You have to go empty stomach and you get to taste a lot of stuff.
So if I had to try something out of your cafe, one thing in savory and one thing in sweet, what would it be?
Are you a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian. So I would make you taste my garlic chili toast. It's a small bread thing with a garlic chili spread on that. I will make you taste that in the savory. And definitely my chocolate truffle pastry.
Ooh.
Or a chocolate eclair. These two things they work really well for us. So yeah, without a doubt, these two things.
I'm already tempted. How often do you try experiment with your recipes?
It's an ongoing process. All the time. We avoid during the festival time because that is a time which is high on work. So we don't really want to tamper or experiment with the ongoing recipes. But otherwise, like April, I feel would be full of experimenting because officially the off-season for bakeries start in April. April, May, because of the weather and Navratras coming. So the work is a little light. So we do a lot of experiments in these months. We try the same things with new flavors. Like when I speak about truffle, we make 6 or 8 varieties in truffle, like a fudge, then with the cashews, then with the raspberry, then strawberry, then mixed berries, then caramel. So we keep doing these things. We keep tasting them. Some things work, some things don't work. What don't work, we discontinue that. So yeah, it's an ongoing process. And sometimes when you get a notification from the suppliers, then we call them for the demos. That can happen anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were telling me about the team, your team, chef teams. How many members are there in your team, including the chefs and other workers?
We have a team of about 34 people, which includes the sales staff, which is approximately 9 to 10 people. Okay. Which take care of each counter. Like one person is handling the veg savories, non-veg savories, then the cookies, then one person is only dedicated for booking the customized theme cakes. So if I talk about the sales staff, that is about 9 or 10. Then 24 people in the workshop, 23 to 24, which includes people in savories department, the bakery department, and the cookies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about the hiring process. How do you manage the hiring process?
See, there is a week or 10 days when we spend the time with the chef. They make stuff which they feel is their USP.
Yeah.
Then we have to evaluate the costing of that, the raw material of that, if we have the right material or no, and if it works out for our outlet. Because certain things really work in certain areas in Delhi, I feel. Like, for example, a macaron.
Yeah.
It never works where our outlet is. Usually works on the other side. And so we get a lot of chefs who are excellent in making these macarons. But I know that product is not really for us. So we don't hire them, although they are great in their work. So it depends on the products, what they are making. Sometimes we get a chef who's making exactly the same thing which already our chef is making. So it doesn't make sense to increase your expenses and hire another person for the same work done. So yeah, it's a process, what they are making, how beneficial it is for the enterprise, and if we are an actual requirement of the person or no. Yeah, that's very simple.
Okay. Where does your major expense go?
Salaries and the electricity. Because we are on the safe side because the property belongs to us. We are not in a rented place. I fail to understand how people operate on rent because I think the major chunk is taken away by the rent, which keeps increasing every year. So yeah, what I feel at the end of the day is whatever the rent we are saving is actually our earning.
Right.
Because these three things, if anybody wants to set up a new enterprise, I think these three things are the main things to be taken care of. The rental, if it's not your own place, it should be justified to where you are sitting. It would be different in Malvinagar and Khan Market, so you'd really have to evaluate that. Secondly, the electricity, because the kitchens are running all the time. The freezers are running all the time. Even when we are not operating from 10 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock in the morning, still the fridges are on. So yeah, and these are the deep freezers which consume a lot of electricity.
Yeah.
So this is one, and the salaries. Yes, you have to give the right remuneration to your staff who's making such good stuff for you, and you're surviving because of them.
Absolutely. And you're not making any expenses on the advertisements over internet?
No, not as of now. We are not doing any paid advertisements. We were doing it before. I think 4 to 5 years back, we did some Google ads and Instagram promotions. But then people approach that you can buy some fake followers and everything, and which we're really not interested in, because at the end of the day, when you go to that profile, it shows 20,000 followers, but actually they are all these are accounts which are not existing. So you would not actually get business from them. You would just get likes. So it's on paper, it looks very fancy. 700 likes.
Yeah.
But if I get only like 15 likes and 3 people order from that, so my work is done.
Yeah.
So I think social media has provided a platform for a lot of free advertisements. So spending on paid advertisements is really something which one can contemplate. Do you really need it or no?
Yeah. Right. And Kandy's Cafe, as you were telling me, it's like you own that property.
Yeah.
The land is yours only.
Yes.
You don't rent it out.
Yes.
And now you're opening another outlet in Chandigarh, or is
it's already open.
running?
It's about 15 years old.
15 years old.
Yeah. We
Okay,
opened
smart.
10 years after we opened in Kalkaji.
Okay.
So this is going to be 26, that's going to be 16, and they opened on the same day. We try to keep the date same, so.
All right. So this one, the Delhi one was 26 years old, and this is 15 years old.
The Chandigarh one.
Comparatively new.
Yeah.
Did you face any challenges when you were opening that outlet?
No, in fact, it was easier. Because we had already worked here for 10 years. So we knew we had already gone through the challenges, the teething problems which one faces in a new startup or an enterprise. But yes, Chandigarh is totally a different market altogether. The strictness is very high. The food department people and the licensing people, they trouble more over there as compared to their trouble over here in Delhi, because it's a small place. So yes, and when we opened over there was very less competition.
Okay.
Now Chandigarh has n number of bakeries and really good ones. So we are on our toes with that outlet as well. But yes, the starting part was a little easier because we had already experienced 10 years in Delhi.
Yeah.
But altogether it's a different market completely. We don't have the same prices over there. If a pastry is of about 70 rupees over here, that is about 55 rupees in Chandigarh.
Okay. So as you said that there are a lot of bakeries around, newly bakeries. What strategies do you follow to be different from them?
The taste has to be consistent. The first and foremost thing is the taste. And the look of your products has to be really, really good, because this is a line where there is a saying in Hindi, "Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai." So when you see a product in the cabinet, if until and unless it attracts you by the look, you're not gonna taste it. The taste comes secondary, but what keeps you to it is the taste.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be very. You don't have to do anything new, but you just have to be very consistent with your quality. You don't have to play around too much if something is working for you. And the sky is the limit in this line. There is not like, okay, you have done this, so there is no. If you made 10 new products, there is scope for 20 new. So there's no rest.
Yeah.
You have to keep going on and on and on. You have to keep going to new places, taste new things. When I travel, even on a family holiday, my priority is to just taste something, click a picture, get it back, get it tested by my chef. Ke iske andar kya hai, isko banao, if we can crack the same stuff. So yes, you have to keep doing that. Pinterest, Google, keep seeing new things. Yeah.
Any new technique that you learned over internet related to baking?
Yeah, just a few new recipes on YouTube, and now my friends also keep forwarding me this, that look at this, look at that. Yeah, you can pick up a lot of stuff from Pinterest. Really helps, I think, more than Google.
Yeah.
Pinterest really is full of new ideas, YouTube videos, the new recipes. Plus, these companies, as I told you before, have started a new trend of introducing new recipes to the outlets, because they also want to sell their raw material.
Yeah.
So we don't really have to go somewhere out now. They come to us and they do their demos, and that works well.
Hey bakers, are you still struggling to find the perfect recipes? Or maybe you do have a perfect recipe, but you're not sure what went wrong while baking. Well, it's hard baking all by yourself and it can get really frustrating very fast. Do not bake alone. Enroll in Bake Better's online courses where you will get access to perfect recipes along with a private community of bakers where professional chefs are available to help you through with all your baking queries, big or small. At Bake Better Online, they help passionate bakers like you learn the foundational concepts of baking from the comfort of your home. So if you are just getting started, then don't worry. They have recently launched their foundational baking workshops which are very affordable and will help you get started with easy to bake recipes. They have a special 20% discount for our podcast listeners like you. Just go to bakebetteronline.com, pick your favorite courses and use the coupon code BAKEBETTER without spaces on the checkout page to get 20% off on your favorite courses. They have got courses on everything from cupcakes and muffins to amazing French entremets. Just go to bakebetteronline.com, use the coupon code BAKEBETTER and get 20% off on your next purchase.
You have 2 outlets successfully running.
Yes.
What are your future plans for the next 5 to 10 years?
Future plan, I don't think anything is in the pipeline as far as the opening an outlet is concerned. Because we did try it once and fortunately or unfortunately, it was a learning lesson. It did not work out for us. It did work out in some ways, but not exactly how we had imagined. So I feel if your kitchen is running at 120% capacity, not 120% capacity, I think you will make same amount of revenue or money as you would be making by opening another outlet. What we do is we try to do a lot of work back end, which doesn't show. Like we do tie-ups with people who are into high-end wedding caterings. So we do these small-size buffet desserts for them.
Okay.
Then we tie up with people who are doing these tours, like a bus is going to Agra in the morning or Jaipur in the morning. So we make a lot of breakfast boxes for them. Then we tie up where we are situated. We have Okhla and Nehru Place on our left and right side. So we tie up with offices for their regular new joinees cakes and their annual days and their monthly birthday parties and everything. So this is, if your kitchen is working more than 100% capacity, I don't really think you need to open outlets and all.
Yeah.
People, I know a lot of names. I don't want to name them. That on Zomato, if you check, they have 9 outlets.
Yeah.
But when you actually get into the numbers, 2 of their main outlets are the revenue making ones and 7 are because looks nice as 9 outlets. But my inspiration is like I would like to name Flurries in Calcutta.
Okay.
The pioneer of bakery in Calcutta. Wenger's in Delhi. They've never branched out. They have from the same outlet, from the same place. I'm not saying it's a totally an unsuccessful idea. No, people have open outlets and they're doing wonders for themselves. But what works personally for us is on the Flurries platform or the Wenger's platform that you keep concentrating more and more on your product. Through social media, you can reach to a wider audience. It doesn't matter. It's not like that you're restricted to that colony. No, you can reach much further because the deliveries are happening. Swiggy is there, Zomato is there, social media is there. So this is also a successful model and that is also a successful model. You need to really see what works well for you.
I think you've expanded it very smartly. So if some of our listeners would want to open and run their own bakery or cafe, what advice would you give them based on your experience?
Based on my experience, I would first request them to identify their target audience, the right colony, the right setup, because the products, their pricing really matters to where you are. Like in MBA, what I learned was the 4 Ps, the product, the positioning, the price, and the promotion. There's really now, especially in Delhi, it is restricted to the area where you are setting up. So identify your target audience, identify your locality, what kind of people are there, and you should always open an outlet which is near the neighborhood, not totally in a commercial market. Yeah. That also works again, but if you have neighborhood around, that would really work well because 4 members living in a family, 4 birthdays, anniversaries, this, that, your dog's birthday, this birthday, that birthday. So it should be close to the neighborhood. You need to know the right target audience, the right locality, and then make products accordingly. What will work over there? Like some markets are really, I would say, desi. Some markets are really desi. They understand pineapple pastry, veg patty. That's it. Some markets, they need macarons and croissants and everything. So you need to understand. अगर आप अब अगर आप गोविंदपुरी में croissants बेचेंगे तो आप exactly वो workout नहीं करेगा.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. The Kalkaji is a great location for modern pastries and cafes.
Yeah, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good mix. It's a good mix, and a lot of new people have started coming in over there. And yeah, we get demands on all sides, like the basic stuff also and the fancy stuff also. So yeah, if you're placed in a place like this, it works well. It works for both, for simple people also, and then you can cater to all kind of customers.
Yeah. And how much amount should they keep safe with them to start their own cafe?
There is no set figure like that, because there are a lot of parameters. Now, when we talk about numbers, again, we come to the fact that if the property is being taken on rent or if it's own property, it changes the whole game altogether.
Yeah.
And then secondly, if you're making your own kitchen or you're taking stuff outsourced, like we supply to a lot of bakeries in Delhi without our branding. So we give them on some percentage, like a 20% or a 25%. So they pick up the stuff from us, they sell it with their own name, of course with the proper labeling and hygiene protocols, but they sell it with their own name. And then they have a margin of 25% on that, or a 20% that needs to be worked out. So if you're taking outsourced stuff, it's a different thing. If you're setting up your own kitchen, oh my God, that's a huge figure, because now you need, keeping in mind the weather in Delhi now, where it's going to touch more than 45 degrees in another week's time. You need cold rooms, walk-in cold rooms, deep freezers, there's that. So easily it goes up to 1 CR to set up a bakery. Setting up an Indian kitchen is easy. Tandoors and kadhais and the exhaust is all you need. But in a bakery setup, you need a nice cabinet to display your products. That costs a bomb.
Yeah.
Then making a kitchen with all kind of cold storage and the mixers and the keeping the safe for raw material. The raw material is so much. Our entire floor is occupied with raw material. Sometimes we feel okay to make seating, but we are not able to, because there is so much of raw material. It's endless. So it depends on what scale are you opening on. Right. How much space do you need? So I have experienced people who start with the idea of कि नहीं सब खुद बनाएंगे, but when they come to all these things, वो कहते हैं कि सब छोड़ो, this is a big headache. Let's approach a renowned bakery and pick up the stuff from them and just keep it over there. So their raw material, baking, keeping people for chefs is all gone. They only need the sales stuff. So saman aaya, they've sold it and they've kept their margin. That's an easier way to do it.
So you have a bakery in Delhi, and Delhi is a very posh area to open a business like that.
Yes.
Did you face any challenges or hiccup?
We face challenges and hiccups on a daily basis, because see, what happens is the people whom we are dealing with, when I say people, I'm talking about the staff. We need skilled labor. Okay, we need skilled labor, people who know how to make a good cake and give it a good look and give it a proper shape. Now, when I say I own a bakery, I can run the business part of it. But if you ask me honestly, I can't bake a cake myself. Yeah. There are specialized people whom we hire and we pay a handsome salary to them to do all that. So finding new skilled labor is very difficult. It's very, very difficult, because these staff members also, sometimes they want to go to a new bakery, sometimes they're getting a better pay somewhere, so they also keep switching. So when this happens, or we need to expand our kitchen, or we need new chefs to make new stuff, so getting the skilled labor is very difficult, very, very difficult. So anybody opening a new outlet, before investing your money or taking a place, please concentrate on step 1 on the chefs. Tell them to make stuff for you, taste them if you like it, and then only go ahead with them. Because you open everything, and if you don't have, place can be very, very swanky and nice looking, but if you don't have the right people to make the right products for you, it's not going to work out.
Right.
That is one thing which is really, really difficult, and we try to handle to the best of our capacity, but sometimes, it becomes, the situation really goes out of hand.
Yeah.
You don't get the skilled labor all the time. Secondly, the hiccup is that now this work is very, very seasonal. From April to June, because of the weather, it's really an off season. Yeah. This is the time which we do our renovations, we do our changes in the interiors, and we do new demos, because it allows a lot of time. Then after July, from the festival time begins from Rakhi, then goes on to Diwali, and then
Christmas.
the Tikka. Christmas and New Year are the actual bakery festivals, not even Diwali. Diwali is very mithai in Indian side.
Yeah.
Christmas and New Year, then comes Valentine's, and on Easter, I feel that the off season actually officially starts for the baking line.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's very important to do your tie-ups, because those weddings are happening, office gatherings are happening, even if people are not stepping out for a meal or something and they're traveling for their holidays, but the offices are on, the tour and travel is on, weddings are on. So your tie-ups are very important to keep you floating in this business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're outsourcing your products to different companies and different cafes.
Yeah. Yes, a few bakeries whom we supply our stuff to, they sell it by their own name, and there's nothing wrong in that, because everybody cannot set up a whole kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's a concept of outsourcing your products to somebody who's making good, decent products. So yeah, we give them a margin, they pick up the stuff, they sell it with their own name, and yeah, that's the thing. And some people, we don't supply the finished product, we only supply the buns. Like a lot of people in making in the hot dog business, we provide them the buns and the burger buns, so they use them for their burgers and hot dogs and garlic slices and all that stuff.
Okay. When and how did you realize that there was a need for you to outsource? And how did you get in touch with all these outlets?
Fortunately, we were approached by people. That was step one. Rather than going out, we were lucky enough for people to come in. They tasted our products. We decided on a margin, and it suited them and it suited us. So it's going on, and then it actually gave us an idea so that we could also approach people. So we approach everybody now. We approach even the car showrooms. We approach that, because when you buy a new car, you get a cake or a chocolate box or something. So we were doing it with the Renault showroom in Okhla for a while. So yeah, you can do that. And a lot of 5-star hotels also. I'm not saying that I have tied up with them, but usually all the 5 stars don't set up their own bakery. They outsource their stuff to a neighboring bakery. So you can tie up with anybody who's interested in this work. So yeah, sometimes we go out, sometimes luckily we get approached by people, sometimes the margin and the costings work out, sometimes not. So, and it's a perishable product, so you need to discuss on these things, that if the product goes waste, does it come back to you, or the cost is borne by the person who's running the outlet. So a lot of factors to be considered.
Yes.
Yeah.
If our listeners want to connect with you or would want to visit your cafe, how and where to find you?
The cafe address is B30 Kalkaji. It's right in the middle of Kalkaji. And you enter Kalkaji, there's a roundabout, and on the left side is the outlet. So anybody is most welcome to visit our outlet or get in touch with us on our Instagram handle or the customer care numbers, and we will be happy to help in any way we could.
And Instagram handle is Kandy's Cafe.
Kandy's Cafe, and the cafe is with a K. I'll spell it out. It's Kandys and Kafe. Both the Kandy's Cafe are with K.
Okay. Thank you, Varun, for doing this episode with us and sharing your experience and story with our listeners. This episode has given us some important tips and learnings on how to run a cafe in Delhi successfully. And thank you for your time again.
Thank you so much. This has been really nice. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Same here.